Has this ever happened to you?
You want your card unlocked? Sure, that's no problem. Can you give me the last four digits of the... Did you just say you dropped the card into a crack? Okay, still going to need the last four digits of that card. I can't help you get that card out of the crack, sir. I'm not Magneto or anything like that. Dude, I'm not with you right now. Wait, why would you want to speak to my manager? But you do realize that they can't help you get that card out of the crack either, right? I need a drink.
Well, guess what? I can't help you. So instead, let's talk about foreign films again. We're going to talk about Gustav Mahler's The Guilty, a Danish thriller film along the likes of a novel like Stieg Larsson's Millennium Trilogy. And I say trilogy because let's not talk about Lagerkrantz and his generic mystery novel continuation. So, The Guilty. It's about this guy named Asger Holm, who's a police officer. He's been coordinated to desk duty after being involved with the killing of an 18-year-old. So in this desk duty, he has to receive calls and offer whatever help he can, whether that's send reinforcements, send people to check things out, all of that. His calls can range from illegitimate Karens to legitimate concerns. For this film, I want to talk about specifically the idea of a film format, or the unofficial idea of film formats. What I mean by this is, let's take Die Hard. So Die Hard is the quintessential, let's call it the Die Hard format, of some dude being stuck into this situation that involves terrorists who kidnap a bunch of people and who's killing them off one by one. And this dude who is likely a ex-military, ex-marine, ex-black ops guy that has special skills, independently goes in and takes out the terrorists one by one. There's usually a geek who hacks, there's usually a strongman who's the right-hand dude, and there's usually a big bad villain. There's that one action film format. And we have a comedy film format that has birthed many other films not in the comedy genre. This exemplar is the Groundhog Day film format. Some person who has to relive a day over and over again. So you have Before I Fall, you have Happy Death Day, To You, and you have like a film like the recent Palm Springs, which takes a loving twist on that film format. Now we have a third exemplar, or a third kind of format that doesn't really have an exemplar or a prototype, which we can be like, okay, this is what started it all, even though there's probably another film that started it way back, but this is the prototype of this kind of film type. I'm just gonna call this the Buried prototype, the Buried film format. So that film Buried with Ryan Reynolds, where he's stuck in a coffin or like stuck in a box and he's trying to get out, and the only thing he really has is this phone to try to reach out. So in this film format, someone is in a situation where they can't necessarily, help themselves aside from communicating with the outside world. Aside from Buried, you have this other film called Locke, which stars Bane, Tom Hardy, as he's driving along the highways, communicating on his car's phone system. Does that sound boring? Well, not really. What makes a thriller, and we're going to go back to The Guilty now, work is the ability, or more aptly, the inability to help others or to help yourself in a situation. Your heart gets in your throat when you get in the shoes of Asger Holm, the film's main character, who has to guide this kidnap victim toward getting to safety. We hardly know what's happening on the outside lines. What we have throughout this entire film is the POV of Mr. Home. We don't see what happens in the kidnapping situation. We don't see what happens throughout the rest of like a police force that's trying to go to the home of the potential kidnapper. We don't have that. We just are seeing things through the eyes of this police officer. And the reason it works is because he's stressing out about not being able to help. All he can do is talk someone through getting the heck out, attacking this kidnapper about how to survive, basically. And at the end of the day, the film works. You don't necessarily have to have action sequences or so many kitchen sinks being thrown at you, although this film does have some kitchen sinks thrown. You just have to have characters who, for one reason or another, are powerless. Powerless characters do a lot to audiences. And the rain is getting harder, so let's just wrap this up. Watch The Guilty. Great movie to go with your Die Hard, to go with your generic action films, because this film's not generic at all. That's why I recommend it as a foreign film you should definitely check out. Well, I guess I'm not going out today. I guess I'm stuck. But then again, I think we've been stuck for a while now. Stay safe out there. Help others in any way you can, even if it's from your bed, from your room, from a place you can't necessarily get out right now.